What's going on, Muhammad? What's going on, Aditya? Crazy Russian name. What's going on? Jowd. Jowd, what's happening? Daniela. What's happening, Daniela? Guys, give the video a like as you come through, por favor. Give the live stream a like. I just let Instagram know. Nee, what's happening? Mojal, how you doing? JB, Yassine, Anila, what's happening? Jao, do you speak Japanese? And also it's pronounced Jude, like the song by the Beatles. I do speak Japanese. Liza, what's happening? QBank's amazing. Thanks, Liza. Monica Santos, what's going on? Monica. Sama, how to deal with exam day anxiety. I've talked a lot about this. Depending on how much of my content you've seen, I've articulated that the way you handle anxiety is by understanding that it's a filtration mechanism, that the exam is a screening tool for weeding people out who get anxious. If your excuse is that you're in the exam and you're having a difficult time mentally, then we don't want those people doing surgeries or in family med consults. Okay, you have to be able to handle yourself, have mental composure and equanimity. So the notion of anxiety, it's something that you have to recognize, that you are weeded out of the medical profession if that's ever an excuse that you have for poor performance on the licensing exam. So the answer is you handle it. That's what you do. You're going to handle it. Taha. V. God of C. It's Jana. Chat moved on me. Good to see you, Jana. Long time. Mohammed. Are you a car guy? I talked about cars in the last live stream. A couple lives ago, you used Tesla as an example of a good car, so probably not. Well, Tesla is arguably the best car out there. We don't have to get political. Put your political views aside. You don't have to like Elon. You don't have to like Elon. Replace Elon with Obama. Obama runs Tesla. Now, do you like Tesla? So it's not about politics. I mean, but Tesla, it's got arguably the best acceleration, silent. So it's known for performance. I don't have a car. I said I live in the city. I could have cars. I use a bicycle and a skateboard. And I use the bullet train when I go places in Japan. I just have my laptop open and I do work. So if I had a car, I would be like stressed. It's a liability. Like, what do I do with a nice car sitting there? Like, am I supposed to use it just because it's there? So I don't think that that's like a good, I'd rather use that capital to reinvest in the business, or use that capital to pay people to do social media or to do stuff. Like Anna, what's going on? Livia Purley, hello from India. Mojal, any specific advice for step 2, like step 1, focus on endo and path? Step 2, internal medicine means everything. Okay, so literally it's all of medical school, step 2. There's no one specific thing. Like when we say internal medicine, I would prefer you study that over psych or over obs gyne. Like there's certain percentages, and if you look that up for USMLE, they'll say internal medicine, which just means basically anything from all 4 years of med school. It's very, very, very broad. But for step 1, it's endocrine and pathophys. Those are the 2 main things you got to know. You got a 219 on NVMe 12 last week. Previous scores 209, 216, 226 in that order. You take them bi-weekly. Your goal is a 240. You finish UWorld and CMS forms. You plan to write step 2 on the 9th or on the 29th. Okay, so in almost 3 weeks, you have your step 2. So if you're asking what to do in the final like 3-ish weeks, the answer is you have to consolidate around NVMe 6 through 15 and free 120. You basically have too much time to work on the NVMEs right now, but not enough time for QBank. You could fill in time with CMS forms. You could do the internal medicine CMS forms again. I'm assuming you did that stuff already, but you could do the internal medicine CMS forms again, the surgery CMS forms again. You could do that because you don't have time to do like Melman QBank. Like you don't have time. So just do CMS and make sure you do 6 through 8 offline as well for the NVMEs. Okay, free 120, 9 through 15. Just consolidate around that info. Joel Thomas, what's happening? Avni, what's going on? Avni. Are you new in terms of like being a subscriber / follower? We've had Avnis in the past, but with like, I think it's AVNE, not AVNI. So Raj, good to see you. Aditya, Werner, what's happening? Werner, you're a little late today. You're like the 20th person. You're not the first person. Do you have any suggestions for the MCCQE Canadian licensing exam? Just study for it, same as step 1. Obviously, you'll have your nuanced differences with Canada, but you're just going to study for like step 1. We can make an MCCQE QBank, but by all means, we stay within our lane right now. But you could just basically do Melman step 1 QBank, and I'm sure that would cover like 95% of what you guys do in Canada, right? You don't have to know dosing or anything like that. I mean, I'm sure it would just come down to possibly like rules around insurance or like certain ethical things you guys do there. Jehovah's Witness, like if there's things that differ over in Canada, I'm not sure. But for like actual medicine, I can't imagine like it would be very different. Samira, the other day you said to a person who did 40% on the NVMe, they could not sit before January. I approached Form 25, you got a 48. The chat moved on me while I was reading your comment. Let me see. Scrolling back up. Tell me how I can improve. I want to sit within 3 months. So if you want to sit within 3 months, I would ask you how much QBank you've done. I'd want to know where you are in terms of QBank. I'd want to know if you've done any other forms apart from 25. Okay. So I don't want you touching another NVMe right now. 48 is obviously very low, the percentage, but I'd want to know how much QBank you've done. And we would just have you do Melman QBank. I mean, you're basically starting from 0. That's what it is. Because we could take someone who hasn't studied for a long time and they're just like, how do I prep for step 1 from 0, from scratch? What do I do? And the answer would just be, you're going to do Melman QBank, right? If you already have UWorld, for instance, if you're already working on another QBank, you can do that. And you can also do Melman QBank side by side. And you can, the juxtaposition, you'll see ours is better and you might just drop UWorld or Amboss or whatever other QBank you're doing. I've never told people like you can't do other QBanks. That's nonsense. Like do your QBank, whatever you're doing, and do ours, and you'll see ours is better. And then anecdotally, like there's been many anecdotes, people just drop the other QBank. Bran, what's going on? Did you know bran is supposedly very high in phosphate? It's like a weird factoid, right? Hassan Ta'ir, how to best use your QBank and NVMe side by side. You don't do NVMEs and Melman QBank side by side. With 6 weeks remaining until the step 2 exam. You're going to bust through QBank as quickly as you can. Then you're going to go to the CMS forms 2 a day. And then you're going to do NVMEs 6 through 8, free 120, and then 9 through 15. You should not do NVMEs concurrent to QBank. You do NVMEs after QBank. That's right, Daniela. You retract that message. That's right, Daniela. Jude Al-Katan, if I prepare for step 2 with UWorld and your QBank, do you think I'd be ready for the Canadian MCCQE? The answer is yes, absolutely. And do Melman PDFs as well. Make sure you're looking at those, especially high yield arrows. You should make sure you know high yield arrows, high yield endocrine, high yield path before you go in. God of C, need step 3 advice. Taking October 1st. I took step 2 last summer. October 1st. Well, you don't really have much time. So the conversation is not about how to prep for step 3 from the beginning. The conversation is about what's more or less your end game for step 3. But I've articulated in prior live streams that you want to redo the CMS forms that you did for 2CK. You do those for step 3 also. And then you also redo all the 2CK NBMEs 6015, yes, for step 3, in addition to the step 3 NBMEs you're going to do. And make sure you're doing the CCS cases, at least 3 per evening. God of C. Mahmoud, step 2, CK, is memorizing every point in the guidelines, list them all in order superior. Wait, what? In step 2 CK, is the guy memorizing every point in the guidelines and can list them all in order superior to the guy that can just solve the MCQ correctly? The answer is no, because at the end of the day, the goal is to answer the MCQs correctly. No one cares about if you can recite guidelines. Okay? Someone left a super comment. Let me see. Jamie Davis, thank you. I'm going to read your super comment. Hope all is well. I'm now doing Anki and QBank. When should I start Biostats course? And can I do 3 months realistically with dedicated? Biostats is very longitudinal, Jamie Davis. So you don't want to cram Biostats. You could do 1 or 2 modules per day from the Melman Biostats course. Those questions, the quizzes that we have and the audios, you can do like a module a day. Because the way Biostats works is you have to sleep on it. You need a lot of REM cycles in order to like really ingrain the Biostats. So don't save it. You want to do it longitudinally. 3 months is fine, Jamie Davis. Scrolling back up. Knee. Quick question. What is the best way to revise review blocks in your QBank? How many times have I talked about this? So you're going to do 4 to 8 blocks of 10 untimed tutor random. You're not going to take notes. You're not going to annotate. You're not going to make your own Anki. This has nothing to do with Melman Anki that you do after you finish QBank that day. You're not going to waste time making your own notes. You're not going to waste time making your own Anki. You're just going to read and move on. And you're going to be okay with forgetting things. The goal is not to remember 95% of what you read. The goal is to remember maybe 25%. But those 25% chunks add up over time, and you'll end up remembering quite a bit. Okay, so don't worry about forgetting things. The whole process is remembering, forgetting. That's how it works. Fadal Sarakit. Just did your high yield arrows PDF, prepping for step 1. Good stuff. Aditya. You've done the endocrine PDF. How do I get 100%? How am I 100% sure about it? Well, you would review with high yield arrows. So you do endocrine prior to arrows. Arrows is like, if you can do high yield arrows, then you're solid. That's all the endocrine in there, in addition to other stuff. A crazy Russian name that I can't read. Done your PDF QBank playlist, thanks to your content. Doing NBMEs. Great, 31, 32 pending, 68 to 75 previous NBMEs going as per your guidance. Any more advice in planning for October, for mid-October? Well, the final few weeks need to be basically NBMEs. So you kind of have too much time right now. So you can move up your exam if your NBMEs are all 68 plus, which it seems like they're pretty good. Or you can fill in that time with Melman Anki, Melman PDS. Werner, you've moved up in score from 58 to greater than 66. Now that I've started Melman QBank, when do you think I will be ready for the step? I've done NBMEs 26 through 30 and was averaging 58. Now on NBME 25, I got 66. Well, you're going to do 20 through 24 and free 120, but I would finish our QBank before you do the other NBMEs. I can't remember if you said your exam is October 8th. Maybe I completely made that up. But you're going to want to do 20 through 24, and you're going to want 68 plus. 66 is obviously better, but I wouldn't sign off on you sitting USMLE yet. So if you can't break 68 plus on 3+ NBMEs, I would just postpone you. If you don't want to postpone, then my advice is just get 68 plus the NBMEs, then problem solved for everyone. Abdul Ram, getting lots of Qs wrong. QBank step 1, should I focus on incorrects or just push through and not review them? You can just focus on getting through the QBank, and you don't have to worry about incorrects at the moment. Okay, so you're going to finish QBank, and then you're going to do the NBME exams, and only if your NBME exam scores are poor will you go back to QBank potentially and go through incorrects. Why are you not in the USA? I haven't lived in the USA in many, many, many years. I've been in Japan a decade, and then I lived in Australia for 7 years. But I go to the US every year because I have family. I have family in the US, I have family in Australia, and family in Japan. I'm a quarter Japanese. Let's see. I have family that doesn't speak English. Just put it that way. Diego, wanted your advice on if I should move my exam date. I've scheduled my step 2 for the 17th. It's okay, it's in a week. 256 on UWorld Self-Assessment 1, 254, and maybe 13. And maybe 14, you got 232. I'm not sure what I should do. That is very annoying. Okay, so I'd want to know what your other NBMEs were. Why are you not mentioning to me what you got on 12 and earlier? So I'd want to know what happened with the other NBMEs. Did you do those? And we're going to simply just have you sit 15. But we can't ignore the NBMEs don't lie. They don't lie. So 232 is a possibility for you on the real deal. Obviously, we don't want that, but it's a possibility. The lower boundary is always a possibility, even if very, very inconvenient. Okay, so over the years, I would say, I'm going to say out of 30 students, okay? So 25 out of 30. Let's not say like 5 out of 6. Like, let's just say like 25 out of 30 will score around the average of their NBMEs. And then maybe you get like 2 out of 30 that score like below, like pretty poorly. And then you get 3 out of 30 that score way above. So occasionally I've had people where they get like 220s on their NBMEs for step 2, and then they get like a 244 and they're like celebrating, okay? I had one girl where she was scoring like 260s on most of her NBMEs. She had 3 NBMEs in the 270s. And she had a single NBME that was 259. It was like one of the earlier NBMEs she sat. This was like 4 years ago. Okay, and so the scores were even higher at that point because of score inflation that's continuing. But she ended up getting a 259. And she was devastated, like understandably so. But it taught me that the lower boundary is real and it's possible. Okay, so it's very, very annoying, but the NBMEs don't lie. And I kind of was like, look, like you did technically have a 259 on one of the NBMEs, which means that would have been your USMLE score had that NBME been your form that day. And that's what happened. That's like one anecdote from like 4 years ago. But, you know, occasionally people score really high. I've seen that also. Solman Shakali. You recommend doing questions, random topics, tutor mode in the morning, and then PDFs evening. Should we do the PDF systems-wise or study the same topics we had on questions? I've articulated that you're going to go through QBank in random mode. So the first phase 1 of the day is 40 to 80 questions from Melman QBank, untimed tutor random. Phase 2 of the day is you can do subject-specific or random from the PDFs, Anki, and YouTube videos. For example, let's say you really want to study cardio, okay? That's what you want to review. and you're going through QBank in random mode. I'm like, no, you're not going to do just cardio questions from QBank. I still want you going random mode. But you're like, well, how do I study cardio then? This is your answer. Phase 2 of the day, you'll do the cardio PDF, let's say 10, 20 pages. Then you'll do, let's say, 4 hours on the cardio Anki, or maybe you do 20 YouTube questions that we have from the cardio playlist. You understand? So you say this entire next week, these next 7 days are my cardio days while I'm doing random mode in QBank phase 1 of the day. Then the following week, I'm going to go on to Pulm. I'll have like a Pulm week, then a renal week, but I'm always doing QBank in random mode. You understand? That's one way to do it, especially if you're in class and you've got, certain quizzes coming up. You got a hematology quiz in 10 days. Well, we still want you doing random mode from QBank, but you can do the pound the heme PDF, the heme Anki, and the heme playlist from the YouTube as phase 2 of the day. Zane, NVMe 28, 67%, 29, 66%, 30, 63%. Should I sit the exam? The answer is no, because 63 is a fail. You haven't hit 68 yet. I don't sign off unless you get a 68 plus on at least 3+ NVMEs. So I'd want to know when your exam is supposed to be, Zane. And what other NVMEs you've done, if you've done others. Ansam Sheikh Khalil. How much time should it approximately take to complete and review a 10-question QBank block? I'd say 45 minutes to an hour. So if you do a minute per question and then a minute per answer choice in the explanation, it's 5 minutes on the explanation, 6 minutes total for the question, timed block of 10. So 60 minutes. If you go faster, it'd be 45 minutes. How many CMS forms per day is good progress? I'd say 2 CMS forms per day. Never more than 2. Don't do 3. Do 2. Summa, how to increase NVMe score from 67% is greater than 70 exams in 3 weeks? You're going to have to consolidate around all the NVMe exams. That's not a big ask to greater than 70. You're getting basic pathophysiology wrong still. You're getting some very, very easy questions wrong on like basic diseases still. Something like you're getting a tuberous sclerosis versus von Hippel-Lindau question wrong or something. Like that's the type of question you're still getting those questions wrong. You're still getting like DI, SIADH wrong. Okay, so you're missing those questions or basic pharm. So you just got to review the NVMe exams, consolidate, do high-yield arrows as well. Aditya, when should you book your exam date? Right away. I think it's good to have an exam date and then work toward it in terms of study rather than just